Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
The last one in January. I'm Daniel Pineda.
Same here, Adele Quo with the big storm. Well, small storm.
Hope you're burying up under this cold snap we've got going on here. We'll try to warm things up for you on the inside here with a little news and information. News and CBB is coming your way. Adele Quo is here with another installment of
It's Easy Being Green. We hit it.
CBB, as I mentioned, a roll-in Theo Stamos. Okay, a roll-in. There you go. Our News for Seniors segment. And then a look at a commentary on Arlington's TV channels. But that's the lineup. That's what we got. Before we begin,
right?
Time for social media reminder from Senior Pineda.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. Well, it's not as bad as the Midwest. I mean,
they're
definitely
50 below.
Over there.
Come on, man.
Well, Craig, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and we can't forget the radio, right?
And
Craig?
also on the radio, WERA Radio, 96.7 LP FM on your radio dial. Check us out. That's where we're at there. All right, here we go. First of our news items. Well, the Arlington edition of the Sun-Gazette newspaper had a report that we feel deserves some attention. Much of Arlington's recent news has been about budget shortfalls and the need to cut funding for various activities and programs. So it's surprising to read that county board members would even consider giving themselves a pay raise or alternatively scaling back their workload. Well, county board member Libby Garvey, who had sought a major pay increase just a few years ago, said that, and we're quoting now, "It's unlikely to happen this year, but I'm still working on the idea informally," end quote. So stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on the county board voting themselves a pay raise. Daniel.
And actually, Craig will give you more information on that. Arlington County Board members currently receive $55,147 per year, and the board chair receives $6,662 per year. This can be compared to the $95,000 plus paid to supervisors in Fairfax County, which has 5 times the population of Arlington. Alternatively, Alexandria, with a population of some 40% smaller than that of Arlington, pays its council members $37,500 per year. Although Arlington probably faces budget shortfalls for the next couple of years and funding for services is being reduced in several areas, there was no mention of any county board member offering to take a reduction in pay while maintaining the level of performance for which they were elected.
And Daniel, also in our news items, well, state lawmakers have approved a bill that would send $550 million, with an M, million dollars to the tech and online purchasing giant Amazon between 2019 and 2030, provided that the company succeeds in bringing 25,000 jobs to the area. This averages $22,000 per job being received by Amazon, according to Delegate S. Chris Jones, and we're quoting now, "When it comes to Alexandria and Arlington, I believe this is exactly what they want," end quote. Mr. Jones is a Republican from the 76th District, which is located in southeastern Virginia near the city of Portsmouth. Democratic Delegate Alfonso Lopez was the only representative from Arlington to oppose the bill. The thing that I keep hearing, and we're quoting now, the thing that I keep hearing about over and over again is the prospect of displacement, end quote. Daniel.
And our last news story for tonight, Arlington police say they arrested 20-year-old William Engelkeen Scott in connection with a series of robberies of pizza delivery drivers. Mr. Scott has been charged with a robbery and using a firearm in the commission of a felony. He is being held without bond in the county detention center.
All right, thanks, Daniel. Stick around. CBB and News for Seniors is coming up right after we hear from Adele. Another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Here's Adele.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. My name's Adele Quo. Welcome back to It's Easy Being Green with Joe Tree Frog, our mascot, in the boot. because no matter how sucky and soul-draining the dreary winter weather can get, the green fashionista stays stylish and eco-friendly. The savvy modern woman and gentleman doesn't have to sacrifice looks or ethics to keeping your toes toasty. According to our mascot, Joe Tree Frog, the boots that we're going to talk about tonight aren't made in sweatshops, but they are the two best eco-friendly boot brands to step out in style and sustainability, and they won't break the bank account either. So first, we've got Able Brand. That's A-B-L-E, all caps, Able Brand, that invests in women. The Able team set out on ending generational poverty for women by providing jobs to empower women to avoid resorting to prostitution as a means of supporting themselves and their families. Their leather boots are handmade in Ethiopia, Mexico, Peru, and at their headquarters in Nashville, Tennessee. Their wages are transparently published on their website to protect the women making the products and empower us, the consumers, by giving a clear choice. Their dream is that publishing wages will be as common as a nutritional facts label on your food. The fashion industry employs 45 million women worldwide, and most of them cannot meet their basic needs. But Able believes that fashion should lead the way. Your investment in a pair of Able boots could range anywhere from $75 US to maybe 200. Our second brand is Bourgeois Bohème Footwear, a brand that makes sustainable, cruelty-free shoes for men and women. Founded by an ex-podiatrist and longtime vegan, Alicia created the animal-free classic styles that she was not able to find anywhere. Fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world, just after the oil industry. Bourgeois Bohème is a London-based vegan company, and they don't use any leather or animal-derived materials in the production of their shoes and boots. The faux leather that you often see elsewhere are made with PVC. That's a plastic which contains chloride and is not biodegradable. But Bourgeois Bohème seeks out new material innovations, such as Pinatex. This is an exciting, natural and sustainable, non-woven textile made from pineapple leaf waste. No extra land, water, fertilizers, or pesticides are required to produce this material. Pinatex resembles a textured leather and is soft but strong, light, and breathable. The hunt for progressive new materials has led Bourgeois Bohème to Italian cottons weaved with paper, cork, recycled rubber, and plant-based polymers derived from grains and seeds from food-free crops, all of which have been used in different parts of their shoes and boots. The investment here, $75 US plus. So remember, it's easy being green, stepping out this winter in boots that look attractive, and also knowing that your purchase makes an eco-friendly impact.
There's a very attractive boot right there, though.
Yes, I'm not sure exactly what Joe has found.
Boot made
Shaquille O'Neal, right?
That's not a Bohème.
No, that is not.
Bohème boot.
I have been searching Amazon for my pair of
Although that
Bourgeois.
one's probably waterproof, you know, it looks like it's got some rubber in it there.
It probably will keep me warmer,
Right.
but...
Good stuff. We appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank you,
Adele. All right, here we go. As promised now, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. Item number 1. Well, Valentine's Day is fast approaching, and Families Unplugged can help you get ready. They can show you how to prepare, and we're quoting now, healthy and sweet Valentine's Day treats. End quote. Their expert nutrition educator can assist you as you create such treats as fudgy brownie bites, frozen banana pops, Super Seeds berry crisps, and many others. The program is open to participants ages 5 and older, and the cost is $8 per person for county residents. This event is coming up on Saturday, February 9 from 10 till noon at Walter Reed Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2909 16th Street South. You can register online or by giving them a call. Here's the number. Jot it down, 703-228-4747. Daniel.
Can't forget the park, Craig.
Park. It's a park as well.
And number 2, well, here's a chance to explore American folk art through the lens of the African American experience. You'll learn about influential African American folk artists and, well, their artistic style, and also create some folk art of your own. No registration is required, and that all takes place on Tuesday. That's February the 12th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Glen Carlin Branch Library, located at 300 South Kennington Street. For more information, give them a call at 703-228-6548.
And Daniel, also in CBB, here's an event for kids ages 6 and older. You can, especially for those who love the movie Frozen, it turns out that making snow isn't exactly magic, it's science. Kids will learn about the science behind snowflakes and crystals. They'll learn how to look at snowflakes without melting them and even grow some of their own crystals. This event takes place on Saturday, February 9 from 4 to 5 in the afternoon at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park, located at 625 South Carlin Springs Road. To register and find out more about it, give them a call at the number on your screen and in your ear now, 703-228-6535. Senor Pineda.
Well, absolutely, Mr. Knoll. And, well, our very own friends, the Arlingtonians, are back in the swing again. The Arlingtonians are a mixed-gender a cappella chorus or choir that performs barbershop-style music all around the county. They will present a Valentine's Day tribute in song. That all takes place on Tuesday, February the 12th, from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street.
All right, stay tuned. News for Seniors is coming your way right after we have a roll-in. It's time for another roll-in. Here's Miriam, I think.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. Joining me today is Theo Stamos. She's Arlington and Falls Church's Commonwealth attorney. Welcome, Theo.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, the last time you came up in our show, you were running for office, and I was marveling about all the women in executive roles in Arlington County. And now you've served your last term. You're going to be running again. But can you tell me some recaps from your previous term, highlights?
Well, it's been an interesting and I think productive term for me and also my staff. You know, we work hard every day in all 3 courts, the Juvenile Domestic Relations Court, Circuit Court, our Felony Court, and our Misdemeanor Court. And some highlights have been really continuing to do the good work that our office does, which is, quite honestly, and it sounds perhaps, you know, a little lofty, but the pursuit of justice is really what we're about. And as prosecutors are known, they're not just lawyers, they're ministers of justice. And we take that role to heart every day. So I'm proud of the work that we do, the way that we approach the idea of rough justice and what that looks like, resolving cases, taking into account victims of crime, the witnesses who appear, and of course the defendants who are charged with offenses. So we never lose sight of the humanity of all of those people. And at the end of the day, our only client is to do the right thing. And I'm proud of the work that we do.
And I remember I asked you a question about being in a role that's typically held by men as the DA around the country, and you had an interesting answer. Can you recap that for me?
I think at the time we talked about how, you know, male or female is not so important as to competence and ability. And I have been in a male-dominated profession for many, many years. And quite honestly, I've never felt that being a woman was a disadvantage at all. I think that so long as you bring, you know, a passion to the position, honesty, integrity, hard work, discipline, all the things that you learn about in, you know, when you're playing on a sports team, I think you do well whether you're a man or a woman. And I'm happy to say that I have a good number of women in my office, and I'm proud of the hires that I've made.
Well, now, some of the challenges that you face, of course, male or female prosecutors have people come across in front of the bench, and they need to be held over sometimes. They need to make bond. It can be very difficult for them to make their way back into society when they've got all this debt that comes along with getting in trouble with the law. There's been some debate about that. How do you reconcile some of those issues?
It's a very big topic in criminal justice circles, the cash bail situation. I think viewers should know that the vast majority of individuals are released on personal recognizance or under a supervised release program. Very few individuals are regularly held, on a secured bond or on no bond. Those are reserved for the individuals who present a risk of flight or a danger to the community, which are two things that the Code of Virginia requires us to consider, and it requires a court to consider when determining whether someone should be held pretrial or not. So I think the idea of eliminating cash bail is something that I know the General Assembly is looking at. It's something that our office and my profession has been looking at. But if you're going to remove one of those tools, which a secured bond is, it has to be replaced with something, and that something needs to be more resources for pretrial release.
And actually, there is a good deal of investment in Arlington in rehabilitation, drug courts, and also programs for teens, so that they don't have a record per se.
Absolutely. There certainly are dispositions that are available by virtue of the Code of Virginia, but in my office we've also devised a number of dispositions that allow an individual to not have a criminal conviction even though they've been arrested and they're being prosecuted for an offense, to avoid that first conviction, to avoid that first felony conviction.
And another controversial issue in Virginia has to do with convicted felons being able to vote after they've served their term. Without getting in the weeds, what is your position on that?
My position was back when this initial issue arose back in 2016 and remains today. I'm fully supportive of the restoration of voting rights for felons. If the General Assembly or the electorate in Virginia decided tomorrow that what they wanted to do was to have automatic restoration or never have a loss of privilege to vote by virtue of a conviction, I'm fully supportive of that.
Well, now, the last question, of course, you have an opponent in this race, and she's a fellow Democrat. So it's a primary contest. Tell me, how is that?
Well, it is what democracy looks like. I have been so honored and fortunate to serve as the elected for the past 2 terms. I'm seeking a 3rd term, and I'm perfectly prepared to make the case to the electorate for why I am the person who should be retained in that position. I have a record that I'm proud of reforms and, giving voice to victims. But, no one owns a position for very long, and I think that the electorate is owed the opportunity for me to make the case when I stand for election, and I'm happy to do it.
And the fact that you're out campaigning and meeting with voters, what are you hearing?
I get a lot of energy from door knocking. I mean, I'm not as young as I was the first time I ran, and I have 2 new hips, so that's good. But it's very reassuring to knock on someone's door and have them say, "Hey, you're doing a good job. We remember you knocking the last time, and good luck to you." And
or even I've got a few ideas.
And I've got a few questions,
yeah.
and so it's actually wonderful. Retail politics at its best.
Okay, so Theo, if people want to volunteer for your campaign or learn more about you, how do they do that?
Go to my website, theostamos.com. My direct dial at work, which you probably can't, to call for about campaigning, don't call me at the courthouse. That wouldn't be appropriate. But you can call me if you have an issue about my office, how I do things. I'm happy to. I answer my own phone most of the time. The taxpayers pay my salary, so I'm very accessible, and I'm happy to answer questions that come my way.
Well, I want to thank you so much for representing Arlington County and running for office. I think that's just so admirable, and keep up the good work.
Well, thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Good luck in the race.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all of you for watching another edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
All right, nice job. Thanks. Miriam Gennari, our own Styrofoam mom, and here's chat with Theo Stamos. We appreciate it. Thanks. Miriam, Mama G. Okay.
Sustainable Scoop.
Here we go. As promised now. Oh, News for Seniors classes. It's time for News for Seniors. Get your pens and pencils out. Here's some events coming up. ARP is offering a 2-part Smart Driver Defensive Driver course for people 50 years of age and older. The class reviews current rules of the road, defensive driving techniques, and how to operate a vehicle more safely in today's challenging traffic environment. In addition, some auto insurance companies give discounts for those who complete the course. That's coming up on Tuesday, February 5, and concludes on Wednesday, February 6, from 9 to 1:30 each day at Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 2909 6th Street South. Cost is $20 and $15. They give you a $5 break if you're an ARP member. To find out more about it and to register, call them at this number, 703-228-0556. Daniel.
Well, Craig, the history and culture of Ghana will be presented by Ghana native Maxwell Osei Anoki. He will discuss how Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from Great Britain in 1957. The program will take place on Wednesday, February the 6th. That's at 1 p.m. at the Aurora Hills Senior Center, located at 735 18th Street South. For more information, give them a call at 703-228-5722.
And Daniel, also in news for seniors, Lee Senior Center Local History Discussion Group is getting on an early start on Halloween stories by discussing haunted homes and buildings at their next meeting. This is part of their ongoing series about local history. The program is happening on Wednesday, February 6, 12:30 in the afternoon at Lee Community and Senior Center at 5722 Lee Highway. For more information and to register, give them a call at 703-228-0555. Daniel.
Those very famous stairs, they're very scary, right, Craig?
Scary, scary.
Well, Craig, international traveler and educator George McDonald will be sharing his experience visiting U.S. national parks, including Yellowstone, Grand Teton, and Glacier National Parks. His presentation will include a visual tour. It all takes place on Monday, February the 11th at 1 p.m. at the Langston Brown Senior Center, located at 2121 North Culpeper Street. For more information and to register, give them a call at 703-228-6300. And as always, Craig, we want to thank our own Judy Masomni for contributing to our senior stories. Her dedication is just amazing.
It's great. Thanks, Judy. We appreciate your efforts for sending these stories. We'll be back with sign off and bye-bye right after some thoughts on Arlington's TV channels. Check it out.
Arlington's county manager is about to release a proposed budget that will include funding recommendations for the county's 3 public, educational, and government television channels. The public channel is Arlington Independent Media, also known as AIM. It exists to provide the general public with a means of expression of their own views. The educational channel is Arlington Educational Television, or AETV. It exists to provide interested viewers with content controlled by the Arlington County School Board, which is, after all, connected to the Arlington County government. The government channel is Arlington Television, or ATV. It includes broadcasts of county board meetings, along with other content controlled by the Arlington County government. The educational channel has not been required to report their TV budget to the county. They use an undetermined portion of a much larger education budget. The government channel does have budget reporting, but it's funded entirely by the county government. The public access channel has recently been required to do their own fundraising in order to assure a level of funding consistent with prior years. The difference is that the county manager proposed cutting their funding by 20% recently, although the county board agreed to reduce the cut to 5%. But that was contingent on the public access channel raising $35,000 to qualify for what is known now as full funding. Inquiries and emails to various county board members have yielded some interesting responses. I emailed Katie Crystal when she was still county board chair and included the following 3 questions. 1. What is the time frame during which AIM is required to meet the fundraising requirement? 2. How is the term fundraising defined? Ms. Crystal's remarks mentioned non-governmental sources, which some people have interpreted to include AIM membership dues, facility rental revenues from both commercial clients and AIM producers, as well as actual solicited donations. The 3rd question was, what documentation is required for AIM to demonstrate compliance with the $35,000 requirement? Ms. Crystal replied, regarding communications in general, I appreciate your faith in board members' command of all the extensive administrative detail on each issue in Arlington, and I wish I could live up to that expectation. Unfortunately, in order for me to get you fulsome answers to your detailed and multi-part questions, I have to be able to pull in and delegate to our colleagues from the board office and county manager's office. I really appreciate your understanding. It certainly seemed that Ms. Crystal couldn't explain what she herself had voted for. Board member Livy Garvey has suggested that Arlington does not need 3 TV channels. The suggested reminded me of a situation that existed in another country a number of years ago. The government of that country decided that 2 sources of information were sufficient for their people. One of the sources was a newspaper called Pravda, and the other was another newspaper called Izvestia. Both publications were controlled by the government, just as the content of ATV and ETV is controlled by components of Arlington's government. Of course, both Pravda and Izvestia were sold to private concerns under Mikhail Gorbachev, but it's interesting to note that both publications are still in business. There's an interesting technological argument that sometimes gets raised about the public access channel. That is, that the rise of the internet and outlets such as YouTube have reduced the need for individual citizens to use a channel like AIM to express their views. However, while that may be true, it also applies equally to the Arlington County government and public school channels. If a YouTube channel is considered to be sufficient for AIM, it is also sufficient for ATV and AETV. Then there's the question of influence. The county manager, who makes budget recommendations, is hired by the Arlington County Board and receives instruction from them, not from Arlington's voters. Accordingly, it might not be surprising that ATV received preferential treatment in the manager's recent budget. Not surprising, just disappointing. A fairer, more balanced approach seems appropriate to me. After all, this is Arlington, not the Soviet Union. Finally, if you still doubt the need for Arlington to have an independent media channel, try watching either or both the county government channel or the public schools channel and just see if they are broadcasting any critical opinion pieces from a private citizen like this one.
Okay, there he is.
Thanks, Hef.
All right, thanks our venerable executive producer, Hef Munson, and his thoughts on TV in Arlington.
Go Rams! Go Rams!
All right, you Super Bowl lovers, yeah, Super Bowl coming up this Sunday.
LA,
Don't forget
baby.
to shout out for your favorite team, and we got to wrap up and get out of here. So
Los Angeles!
Stay warm up there. The heat wave is coming. The warm-up is coming Saturday or Sunday, so hang in there for another day or two.
Okay.
It'll warm up. Thanks for watching this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Next week, if you're out there, we'll be here, and we'll do it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.
LA, baby!